السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أهلا وسهلا فيكم في اليوم الأخير للأسبوع التوعوي للتدريب التعاوني. إن شاء الله الصوت واضح.
يا واضح.
أهلا وسهلا فيك دكتور فهد، وشكرا إنك تقبل دعوتنا سنويا ونتشرف بمشاركتك معنا. وبإذن الله الطلاب يستفيدون من لقاء اليوم والأيام اللي فاتت. بإذن الله اللقاء مسجل، راح نرسل الروابط إن شاء الله الأحد الجاي. فإذا الطلاب حابين إنهم يستفسرون عن أي شيء عن طريق الشاتنج، سواء خلال اللقاء أو في الأخير، ممكن يستقبل الدكتور استفساراتكم. بالإضافة إذا عندكم أسئلة إضافية ممكن ترسلوها على إيميل وحدة التدريب. أهلا وسهلا فيك دكتور فهد، وتقدر تتفضل.
مرحبا بالجميع، شكرا جزيلا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا عليه أفضل الصلاة والتسليم. So welcome all. As you know, this is like awareness and observations session. So more probably just I will receive questions from your side. However, I'll go through just some main points that I think it should be considered, and you have to take care about these observations during your before co-op and during and also after your co-op training. So these are the main agenda I prepared to show you main points here. So first of all, I have to show you actually the objectives of co-op training, because all the time for all the courses, training or non-training, you as a student, you should know exactly the objectives of this course. And here I will show you the main objectives of the co-op. Objectives looks like a contract between you and the academic supervisor or instructors and so on. And then I will show you just some, let me just, I think here, some of the responsibilities, so that we'll be aware about your responsibilities and the other supervisors that will guide you during the co-op. I mean the site supervisor and the academic supervisor. And then I'll show you some recommendations about the co-op forms. I know you are aware, or through the previous sessions, they talked about the co-op forms. However, just I'll go through main observations as an academic supervisor about the co-op forms. General observations based on the previous questions and our observations as academic supervisors. I'll give you some hints here. And then some guidelines about optimal performance. How can you really get the best performance in both the progress reports and the final reports? This will be discussed in different sections. And then finally, what should be done after the co-op training. So these are the main. I'll do my best to go quickly to give you just a space at the end of the session, or even during the session if you have a question based on the points and the section we are discussing. So you see, due to the importance of the co-op, actually there is a vision statement related to the co-op training, because you know at the end all the courses you are taking in the college actually prepare you for the practical world, prepared you for the job after graduation. And only we have this course, which is really a training course that put you directly in the practice. So it is a very important course. You have to plan well for this course. And this is actually one of the main observations and things that you should be aware. This is a very important course for you to practice and to reflect what you have learned in the college in a real environment, so you will be ready after graduation. And this is why you see the vision statement actually for all the departments. It's actually one of the main things that should be happen to you, is to provide you with an effective training program. And this is actually very important. And the objectives, this one, just to prepare you for the competitive job market. And that's actually the vision statement. And this is why also you can see the goals of the co-op. This is part of the course syllabus, part of the handbook you have about the co-op. And these are like a contract. As a college, academic supervisors, we are aware about these goals, and we did a lot of, and we are doing also a lot of, let's say, work to ensure that these things will be satisfied at the end. And like these workshops and awareness sessions, actually, just also to support attainment of these, the attainment of these goals. So you can see practical experience. And yes, we hope that that's actually what you will get, practical experience, not just only reporting, and just not just following the instructions by the site supervisor without having real practical experience. And also another goal is to give you an opportunity to apply the theoretical knowledge in practical work. And that's actually another, and now you have a lot of things from your courses. So it is actually the best way for you to practice the theoretical knowledge. So it's not just only waiting for the site supervisor to give you tasks. No, you learned a lot of problem-solving techniques in different courses. Now it is the time actually to say loudly to the environment you are working with as a trainee that you can solve and suggest solutions for different problems they have. That's how you could apply theoretical knowledge. And then also, it's not just only the practical things, but also we have soft skills that you should get from the environment, like the communication skills. How can you really take the responsibilities, be like a real employee there, and take all the responsibilities, get all actually the feedback, and also practice the communication skills. That's actually a very important also objective. And also how can you really be a part of the real environment such that they are aware about your capabilities, and then you will have a chance actually at the end to be hired by the company or the organization you are working with. So, and finally, is just, you see, one of the objectives to write practical technical reports. But the four objectives, they are actually targeting the skills you will get from the co-op. This actually, it's very important to understand. These are the goals, and like contract between you and the site supervisor, plus also the academic supervisor. So now let's go through, just show you some of the responsibilities here and there, just to be aware about if you are contacting your academic supervisor or you are contacting the organization, you should be aware about these responsibilities. Since we are treating this opportunity as a job, so if you are applying for a job anywhere, they have actually to show you the rules of your side, and also the other responsibilities about the organization toward you, and so on. So here we are doing the same thing. So now for the organization, it's actually your right to have a clear training task plan from the beginning. So from the first week, you should have actually a plan about the tasks that you will do. That's actually the first. And then the period of these tasks and the plan should cover minimum 8 weeks. So that's actually the first responsibility. You have to do it there, minimum 8 weeks. And I think it depends on the contract with the organization and the company. Some of the companies, they need actually more. So you have to actually to meet their requirements. But this actually, as a course, this is actually the minimum. And then just be aware that according to the let's say the communication with these agreed companies and organizations, the tasks should be related to your major. So be careful about this one. Just be sure that you need the best place that fit your actually knowledge, and then you can reflect your practices well. So be sure that the tasks, the plan here, meeting your, let's say, academic major. Then also you should be assigned there in the organization, should be assigned to a site supervisor. So there should be a boss, there should be a site supervisor who is guiding you, who is giving you the task, following with you, and is the contact point with the organization, and also with the site, with the academic supervisor. So site supervisor is very important to know from the first day you are doing your co-op. And then another responsibility for the organization towards you is just to treat you like an employee, because we need you to gain real skills. So without such treating, you will not get the communication skills. You will not actually treat the opportunity as actually a real job. So you will not get actual practice there. So they have to treat you like an employee, except the salary and these things. But the other tasks, how they deal with you, how they ask you about the requirements of the job, attendance, and all of these things should be similar. Here for this number 3, you should be aware that due to the sensitivity of the information in the organization, sometimes they will not allow you actually to have a full permission or full access to all the data and facilities. But this should be clarified well at the beginning, so you are aware about these accessibilities, and the academic supervisor should be also aware about these restrictions from the beginning. I mean, don't come to the end when you are writing the final report and reporting that, oh, they didn't allow me actually to access here, there, they have a lot of restrictions here and there. No, tell your academic supervisor from the beginning. And this actually because sometimes the academic supervisor may be actually visit the place and communicate with the site supervisor and give you more, let's say, accessibilities, or being aware about the restrictions, and then you will not be impacted and affected during the evaluation, either by the academic supervisor or by the evaluators at the end. So that's actually another should be a very important point. Then accommodations and these things should be arranged by the company, so we don't have any policy, or we don't have any force about these things. So should be arranged between you and the company. Now I come to the academic supervisor responsibilities. So guiding you during the training is one of the main responsibilities about the academic supervisor. So which means that if you are encountering any challenge, any problem with the site supervisor, with the tasks, with the plan of the assignments, with anything, you should contact the academic supervisor, and then they will actually solve the problem by any means. They can return back to the college or contact your site supervisor and so on. So that's actually the first responsibility. As a student, you should be aware that this is one of their responsibilities. It's not just only receiving your progress report and giving you a feedback. No, this is one of the responsibilities. But the main responsibility to guide you and solve your problems. But you have to report what you are encountering there. Reviewing the task plan also. Now, in the first day, you should say first day or within the first week, you should have a clear task plan from your site supervisor, but you have to contact your academic supervisor, showing him or her your task plan, and they can give recommendations or tell you it's okay. So from the beginning, you are following an approved study plan given by the site supervisor, approved by your academic supervisor. It's okay. And then there is another responsibility. You have to be aware about different forms. I will not go and discuss these forms now, but when the academic supervisor is asking you to provide these forms, it's one of the responsibilities of the academic supervisor to report your forms and documentations to the college. So you have to be responsible. This is like a job, and one of your supervisor asking you to do these things. So the submission should be on time according to the deadline given by the academic supervisor. These forms should be filled well according to the requirements given in the handbook, and so on. So it's actually very important. As an academic supervisor, I actually, when I see that some of the students, they didn't actually follow the guidelines or they didn't submit on time, this is an indication about they didn't get the objectives of the co-op training. They are not like a good employee. Unless there is actually a reason behind this, which is actually an excuse. But in the normal situation, this is not a good indication about the skills you are doing during the training, or you are getting during the training. It's very important. Then there is a responsibility about the grades and performance and grading these things and the final report and so on. Okay, but there is another responsibility, which is your actually rights to get it, is a visit from the academic supervisor to the site. This is a very important actually to evaluate you from, let's say, closely, and see your problems and meet the site supervisor and those others that are working with you in the same environment, to give recommendations and evaluate the company for the future, let's say, contract. So that's actually and there is also part of the duties is just to evaluate your oral presentation. Either you will be evaluated by actually a panel, and that panel is not necessary to include your academic supervisor. So when you are preparing your reports, presentation, progress reports, be aware sometimes the academic supervisor may give you actually full mark due to his actually knowledge, awareness about the requirements, but you will be evaluated by someone else. So be sure that you are following the best practices in preparing your final report and final presentation, and also your progress reports. Okay, so these are the main academic supervisor responsibilities. Do you have any question now? Because I care about these things. We should be aware about these things. So do you have a question about what I'm talking about, at least the responsibilities section? I don't know, you can, they can speak directly, or they have to give the questions to someone else. I don't know. Can you just let me know? Because I couldn't see the... Okay. Okay. Okay, so then I'll go just to the since there is no question. Now this your responsibilities. I think you are aware about these things from the previous given sessions during this week. So but I need just to highlight some points that you should be reading, preparing, and having these at the beginning, these forms at the beginning, and this will be done during the co-op training. And that's actually sometimes we have problem with this session, because students feel that when they submit the bi-weekly progress report and they end the training at the site, and then they just work on the final report and then the final presentation, they forget actually to follow up with other requirements and required forms. Sometimes we ask them actually to inform the site supervisor to prepare or send us the attendance sheet, signed attendance sheet, or the evaluations done by the site supervisor, because sometimes the direct contact with the site supervisor from the academic supervisor is not that smooth. So we need actually students to do a sort of, let's say, responsibility to inform the site supervisor about the importance of these forms. Plus, the students, they have some responsibilities about the evaluating the company, submitting some forms related to the certification, about the tasks, about the guidelines given to him or to her during the training. So this actually one of the observations about the your responsibilities as a student here. Okay, now I'll go about talk about co-op forms. I'll not go through the details, but for some of the forms, I need to show you some practices and some, let's say, guidelines. These are the registration form, and I think this should be submitted early. And one of the recommendations or the observations here, some of the let's say information about the place you are doing the co-op in is not clear. And for example, sometimes I need to get the email written by handwritten, but it's not clear, and so on. So these should be actually prepared well. And some of the forms that should be submitted actually before starting, and that's actually I think clear. Okay, just this is actually one of the forms that I need you just to be aware about. This is like the bi-weekly progress report. This should be submitted during the training, and minimum we have 4 actually progress reports. So every 2 weeks, or according to the plan given to you through the Blackboard from your academic supervisor, you should report actually what you are doing. Now this form is actually a brief form. So what are the tasks, the challenges, and what are the resources? Some of the students, they give actually very, let's just say, little information about the task. They name actually just the task is like preparing a report, the challenges, not challenges, resources, the word. No, we need actually more details. And you can see here in this slide that for each task, we need actually to see what's actually what's the problem you are actually solving. Problems assigned to you, what's actually the issues, what are the requirements. So talk about the software, the hardware, the tools, the way you are analyzing the problem, and so on. So also the steps taken, and if there is a results out of the doing the task, then you have also to discuss the results and your opinion about these results. And then you can give us actually a conclusion about what you get, what are the skills you get, what you have learned from this task, and so on. And then references actually you can provide. Even, I mean, you can put here some of the details, but also it's actually a report. After that, there is a section where you can actually add some references, screenshots to provide a sort of evidences about what you have done. These things will make the evaluator, the academic supervisor, be aware about the amount of tasks you did and the quality of the tasks you did. So I will show you. Also, you can write about what are the pending tasks. So according to the plan, I should do these tasks during these 2 weeks, but due to some reasons or challenges, these are the pending tasks, and so on. And you have to say what is the plan you will follow actually to solve these problems. So these are the main things I need you to be aware when you are preparing this bi-weekly progress report, so that you get actually best grades for this one. Let me show you how would we, because we are following rubrics to evaluate your bi-weekly progress report. So it is very important for you to understand the blueprint the rubric we are following actually to evaluate your progress. And you will be aware, and then you prepare your report based on these, let's say, points based on these rubrics. So you can see, and I need to see your problem-solving abilities. So this should be reflected in your report. Tell me about the problem statement, about the techniques you are using, and so on. And what are the technologies you are applying? And this is very important. Very important also to measure something during your co-op. So if I'm just saying that I used YouTube, I used Microsoft Excel, and these things, this is very trivial, let's say, software and applications. You as a computer science, an AI, a CIS, a cybersecurity student, you should be trained using now new technologies, advanced technologies. So I need to see. It's okay during the first week or the second week, but the rest, no, I need to see something new. You learn, you applied, and you use. Okay, and here you can see new skills. And the quantity of work, how many tasks you are doing is very important. Plus the quality of these, the quality of the work. So both is just a balancing between the quantity and the quality. And this is why sometimes when I'm as an academic supervisor, when I'm grading a progress report, I see just they are working during the 2 weeks, they are working on just only one task, and that task is a trivial task. So I should actually be fair with all the students. Some other students, they are doing a lot of tasks and even heavy tasks during the same period. And this is why we have this rubric. So please be aware about this one and try to accomplish and do enough tasks. And this should be reflected in your task plan at the beginning. It is very important. Task plan, assignments plan, the plan is very important at the beginning so that you can cover all of these, cover all of these problems. Actually, because in the plan, you will see how many as a number, and what's the quality of these tasks, and you get the approval from the academic supervisor. Okay, deadline submitting in online at the time on time is actually another point. But actually, these are the main things you should be aware about the bi-weekly progress report. This actually the attendance report. So it means it will be, that you have 40 working days. I mean 8 weeks. So some of the problems. Some of the students, they are not aware about the importance of this one, and the site supervisor didn't actually sending us the complete attendance report with the signature of the students. You should be aware, and also you should actually allow your site supervisor to be aware about this requirement. So you have to sign daily in this using this format of attendance sheet. Now let me show you. I think you are aware about the grading policy. I mean, your site supervisor will evaluate you based on a rubric, and at the end 25 points you will get from the site supervisor, from both site supervisor and academic supervisor, both in an average, but both they are following actually the same. You can see they are following the same rubric. Let me show you. So being aware about these items from the beginning is very important. So you will actually control and manage your behavior, your altitude, to actually get certification from both the site supervisor and the academic supervisor. We call them here, as you can see, external from the company and internal from the college. Let me show you this one, because this is actually the most important one for us. You can see it's not just only the number of tasks or what are the tasks you are doing just only. You can see they are measuring you in terms of the enthusiasm, attitude, ability in understanding and dealing with new systems, Is it possible for you to learn new skills, to solve problems with systems you never seen before in the college, and so on? So being also initiative and trying to provide suggestions to solve problems, even though they are not part of your task plan or your duties according to the assignment given to you at the beginning of the training. So you can see these are very important, and you will be evaluated based on these. So go through them one by one and see your place during the training. Attendance also is one of these things. Ability of reporting, presenting. These are the main let's say rubrics here. So that's actually very important. Let's say observations and recommendations here. Also, we are asking you to do an evaluation at the end for the company. This will give us actually a hint about the place, and then we will recommend the same company for future patches or not. So it's very, very important. Now let me show you the rubric we are following to evaluate your co-op report. And now this is also very, very important. In the co-op report, as I will show you, 35 points. So you should be aware about actually the points we are following to evaluate your report. And you can see, as an observation, you can see the most important one in the report is this co-op experience. So really you should report and put a lot of evidences about the experiences you get from the co-op. It's not just only copying the bi-weekly progress report, the previous form I showed you, into the final report. No, you have actually to clarify that I get this, I get that. When I attend the training, there was no actually enough, let's say, skills for doing this and that. Now I'm really fully aware about these things and I can do. So you have to express the experiences you get from the co-op in a well manner, and these things should be reported. Plus now the format, you see, I saw many reports, they care about the co-op experience. When we come to the format and the graphs, the quality of the images within the report, they are not that good enough. And then you see that finally I have an item to evaluate these actually these things, the clarity in terms of the write-up statements you are using and so on, the organization of the report, the styles, spellings, grammar issues, all of these part of the final report. So please just go and see all of these and try to evaluate your report before submitting the final version, because this will give you actually a chance to update it before to put it on the blackboard for final evaluation. When you are preparing your presentation, try to also to practice to satisfy these things. Again, you can see co-op experience is very important, because sometimes students reflected the good co-op experience in the final report, but when it comes to the presentation, they cannot actually present what they have done. Either when the evaluators asking him questions, they cannot respond, or they are not actually presenting well these co-op experiences. And it is very important because you see 10 points given just only to this one. And here that's actually 25 points. So you can see 25 points, 35, and that's actually 40, and then just 15 for the progress report, bi-weekly progress report, and 25 for the evaluation by the site supervisor and academic supervisor. So do you have any question about these forms and the given hints here? Okay. Let me show you now some also observations during the co-op training. Now, one of the observations, you know that sometimes you work in a group in the same organization on the same site, maybe doing the same tasks, and some other actually occasions you in the group, but you are doing different. Now, in case if you are doing the same task in the same group, in the same site, the final report you are submitting and even the bi-weekly progress report should be different, because actually you are doing these reports by yourself as an individual work. And this is why I encountered some cases in the previous, let's say, patches. They are actually sending or submitting the same bi-weekly progress report, and they get zeros because actually they, by the chance, actually, in the case I'm supervising the 2 students or 3 students, they are doing their co-op in the same place, then I can discover actually the similarity in the bi-weekly progress report. Okay, that's actually one observation. The other one is the final report. Also, you are not allowed actually to submit the same copy. Every student should work individually in preparing their final report, presentation, and so on. This is not a group-based assignment. This is an individual assignment. Okay, and in any scenarios rather than these things will be considered as cheating. The other observation is just, I don't know, actually some students, they either they don't have time or they are not aware about the rubrics we are using. So they give just little information about the tasks, just a few lines in the progress report, and also view pages within the final report. So what do you expect? Do you expect to pass the course? This is like a contract, they will pass you? Or do you think that all the students, they get actually A's? No, actually we have rubric, then this report will be evaluated by your academic supervisor, and the final report will be evaluated by a panel. So you should be aware that they need actually enough information that reflect what you have got during the training. So please just prepare maybe sometimes you are doing a great work in the site, but at the end we need you to reflect these tasks in the report. So be careful. The number of tasks and the type of the tasks is very important. So then you have to be aware. Actually, before even joining the place, you have to ask about the organization you will do your co-op in, because if you get actually a hint that they will not give you enough training, or you will not have enough opportunity to practice what you have learned, so this is not the place that you should work with, or you should actually have your co-op training. So this is actually your chance during your academic journey to practice what you have learned. So choose it carefully and select the best place you can practice in. So this is actually why we get actually a lot of problems. And this is actually why I put it here an observation. At the end, I saw view tasks reported in the final report, not due to the capabilities of write-up, no, due to the shortage in the tasks, and the student didn't actually reflect this problem at the beginning and send it back to the academic supervisor, or actually the academic supervisor didn't give enough feedback, or he or she approved the plan without looking to the details. Because sometimes the students, they have a plan with a lot of points, but when you come to the details, these are just something repeated and very trivial tasks. So that's actually a problem and should be addressed, and hope that you will not be in such trouble. So now I come just to the questions actually asked by students. So I'll go quickly and then give you just time just to ask these. When does my co-op end? As I said, minimum you have 8 weeks and 40 working days. That's actually the minimum. And it depends on the company if they are asking for more. So you have actually to follow their guidelines. And you should actually report this to the academic supervisor and the training committee so that they are aware about the time you will finish your co-op, because they will actually prepare let's say the schedule for evaluating your final report, the submission deadlines, and so on, according to the company requirements. So that's actually no excuse about these requirements. Is this work good enough? It depends. Now, I said at the beginning, you have to get an assignment plan, task plan, and report that plan immediately to the academic supervisor to get the approval and the academic will tell you, is it good enough or not? That's actually the question for the answer for such a question. They don't let me actually to do IT work. I'm just observing. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. Actually, as I told you, if they give you the assignment plan, and the assignment plan, you have some works related to IT work. So you will go there to their networks, you will solve problems, you will practice in their networks, in the security aspects, in the AI aspects, and in the programming and so on. And then they are not giving you the accessibility and the permission to do these tasks. Then immediately you have to report this one to the training unit and to the academic supervisor, so that they will be a part of the discussion to solve this problem. But there is no any tolerance about not doing the IT work or your major work in the company or in the site. You have to solve it. You have to contact the training unit to solve this problem. Have the same report? Could we have the same? I discussed this before, and it's not allowed actually. And this is it's like a plagiarism or a cheating, and then the college will apply the policy for plagiarisms and cheating assignments. That's actually you have to submit several progress report, and it depends on the plan given by the site supervisor. And in week 8, you have a lot of things. So you should be aware about the announcement through the Blackboard. What are the forms you have to submit? What are the forms that you have to support the academic supervisor by getting them from your site supervisor and so on. And finally, also you have the final report. This actually the grades for 15 for the progress report, 25 for evaluation forms from the site supervisor and from the academic supervisor, 35 final report, 25 is the final presentation. I think these are the most important questions. Now, if you have a question, you have a problem regarding the training, just please go ahead. Is there, can you hear me, or is there any? Okay.
سامحني يعطيك العافية دكتور فهد.
يعطيك العافية سنة تفلح.
بالنسبة للأسئلة، إذا في سؤال الآن أو راح نستقبل الأسئلة بخصوص إجراءات التدريب والفورمز على إيميل بريد وحدة التدريب بإذن الله، وراح نجاوبكم خلال 2 يوم عمل. فإذا في سؤال الآن أو ممكن ننهي السيشن ونستقبل الأسئلة عن طريق الكوب يونت. وشكرا لك دكتور فهد، ما قصرت، وشكرا انك يعني أخذنا جزء من وقتك وخبرتك. بإذن الله السيشن مسجلة وراح نرسلها لكل الطلاب بحيث إنهم يستفيدون من اللقاء. ويعطيك العافية.
يعطيك العافية أيضا. جزاكم
الله
الله
يعافيك.
خير. السلام عليكم.
شكرا.